And not much love around on the local markets this Valentine's Day for what was troubling the bourse. I spoke earlier to Marcus Padley of Paterson Securities. Well, Marcus Padley, as we've heard, Moody's has blackened the mood a little more in Europe. What did that do to our local market?
Well, 2 days ago we went down 40 points, Ticky, then we're up 40 yesterday and we're down 40 again today. It's all really going nowhere. But it's interesting that Moody's do this because at some point there's going to be an inflection point in this sort of European risk. And we sort of had it on the 21st December when the ECB handed out 489 billion euros to banks. All the bond yields started to go down, the CDS rate started to go down, and yet here we are with Moody's a little bit behind the curve saying everything's getting worse still, which of course they're probably right. But, you know, you've got the ECB going to lend another 500 to €1 trillion on the 29th of February. Indeed. And this is making things easier, not better, and yet Moody's still, you know, pursuing the downhill trend. So we'll see. Maybe the
very
ECB
confusing.
stuff.
Now, the mining sector has been the worst performer on our market. Why was that?
Well, the sector's up 12% in the recent rally from December, helped obviously by better sort of sentiment towards China, but also by a lift in the market generally. I think as we've got to this sort of 4,400 point on the index, it's a bit of resistance. It's butting up against that. I think people are just locking in the rally.
OK, well, still with resources, news today that BHP Billiton and Rio Tinto are to pour a combined $4 billion into a further expansion of the Escondida copper mine in Chile. How significant is that?
It's all part of the process, but it's interesting because it sort of heightens copper as a commodity that's on the way up. The price is up 25% since October. The Chinese have done some incentives for first-time home buyers. A lot of copper goes into new housing. It's a sort of secondary commodity. You know, you start with a lot of iron ore building infrastructure, then you move on to housing, copper. So it's a refocus on copper. Their Escondida mine's production's been dropping. They're going to improve it. It's not big dollars for BHP and Rio, but it's the obvious sort of hot spot going forward. China's imports are huge in copper, and BHP is just trying to make sure they keep up.
And I see Paladin Energy had their results today. What news for investors there?
Paladin, well, they made a loss of 120 million on sales up 50%. And full-year production guidance was down, which is why the share price was down. Basically, Paladin, a uranium trading stock, and we need the uranium price to go up. Ever since the Fukushima disaster, it's down from 75 to 50 and is stubbornly sitting there. You buy it when the uranium price goes up.
Rightio. Marcus Padley, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure, Ticky.